Okay, so I promised you guys that I would do a little tutorial, and bear with me because I've never done any kind of tutorial before. This is the Cricut design space. I already dropped a couple images in here just to make it easier for me to show you. So when I make my shadow box, I typically use an 8x8 frame. So I start out by going to my shapes. So I'm going to grab a square and we're going to size it to just below 8x8. I mean, we'll stick it to 8x8 for now, but depending on where you string your lights in the box, you might want it to be slightly smaller. I typically do like 7.8 or 7.9 just so that the lights can fit around the box, but that really depends on how you layer it, or depending on what kind of box it is, if you want the lights to be shining from behind the shadow box cuts, or if you want them to go in between the layers and shine throughout. Some of my designs, I have to do it that way, otherwise it's not going to light up very well. Alright, so to keep things easy when I am making it, I kind of keep everything a different color. Every slide will be a different color. That doesn't mean I'll print it in that, but up here you can change all the colors to whatever you want. So we'll say we want the sky to be, we'll go with white for what I'm doing. So we're going to do with white, and that's going to be 8x8 for white. So when I want to go on to my next slide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. This is kind of a little bit of what I did in the dragon one. Or actually not copy it, I'm sorry. We're going to duplicate. That was stupid of me. Alright, so here is now going to be your next layer. And every time you add a layer, it's going to put it on the top. But you can always right click and then send it backwards or send it forwards, or you can just drag it over on the side here. So this one, I'm going to keep it like this, but say we want some clouds. So we're going to duplicate some clouds. This is what I did with the dragon one, with the lightning and stuff. This cloud, we can actually, I don't know what the fuck I do with it, but anyway, yeah, like I said, bear with me because I don't ever do this. So you can resize the cloud. You can flip it however you want. I mean, you can go into Microsoft Paint. You can paint your own cloud and pull it into the images, but I'll show you that shortly. So what I'm going to do is say this slide, we're going to make this one blue so we can kind of tell what it is. So this is the blue, and then you've got the two clouds. So if you see over here, you've got a cloud here, and then you've got a cloud here, and then you've got your blue square. So what I want to do is I want to cut these out of this frame so that they'll be white behind it, so it'll kind of look like the clouds are in the blue sky, if that makes sense. So we're going to go and we are going to highlight this cloud, and I'm going to shift, and then I'm going to highlight this one, and then highlight the square. And then if you go down here, there's a bunch of different tools you can go to combine. If you go to combine, you have a different options. You have weld, which is going to attach it to it. Unite also attaches it to it, but unite allows you to kind of move it around. Once you weld it, you can't change it. Like, it's stuck. But if you unite it, then you can kind of like move it around and choose where you want it to be. So that's what I usually do when I'm designing, because I don't know for a fact that I definitely want that cloud there. I might want to move it later, and I can show you that if you'd like. But what we want to do is we want to subtract. Same thing, exclude is kind of like the same thing as weld. When you exclude it, it's going to remove it completely, and you're not going to be able to go back unless you like hit the back arrow. But then that's a pain in the ass. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract. So we're going to subtract, and then that takes the clouds out. So there is nothing behind these cloud cutouts. So maybe I decide this cloud, I don't want it there. I want it up here. So that is what I mean by doing the subtract as opposed to exclude, because that gives you more, it gives you more freedom to move things around. So now we're going to put this in front of here. So now I kind of want, let's say we want to do a dragon, since this is, all about dragons. Everything's all about dragons right now because I can't stop thinking about that book. So you can either go back to the square and then resize it, but I'm lazy, so I'm gonna go to my back layer and I'm just gonna duplicate that again. So now I have another square. Now with the shadow box, you want it to have a frame. So you want that frame to be there so that you can like put the foam. I use foam, so I cut like just your crafter's foam. I cut it into pieces and I kind of glue it in between the frames. That way it gives it that 3D look. So what I want to do is I want to make a frame. So I've got 8 by 8, and then I'm going to take this square and yet again I'm going to duplicate it because it's easier that way, or you can just go to the shapes. But we're going to go to this, and now I'm going to say I want my frame to be an inch. So we'll go with an inch just for shits and giggles. And there, we'll do 7-inch frame. What I do then is, because I don't want my frame to be lopsided, I want it to be completely even, I'm going to highlight this square and I'm going to highlight this square. And then if you go up here to align, you can center it. So it's going to center it for me. And then the same concept, we're going to go to, it's already highlighted. You can go to combine, and then I'm going to subtract. And then that is going to give me my frame. So what I want to put on it now, I'm going to show you how to get images outside, because I know that a lot of you don't have the Cricut images. And see, this is what I'm talking about with this one. So over here, this cloud, I don't like where it's at, so I can click on it and move it and still be able to mess around with it inside of here. So I know you guys don't all have the Cricut Design Space. I just got my Cricut this year, so I went ahead and bought the year subscription to it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, honestly, because I often just go on my iPad and draw my own images, or I buy images off of Etsy or wherever. I do use a lot of their images, but they're images that you can find elsewhere if need be. So, but you want to go to upload if you're going to get an image. I'm sorry, this is wobbling. I have it on this like little stand that, oh my god, I'm sorry. So you want to go to upload, and then here's some of the ones that I already have kind of like loaded in here, just stuff that I was working on. So I don't know, what one should we use? Maybe we'll use this one. We'll use this one. So we're gonna add that to our canvas. He's gonna come in here probably like really freaking big. Yes, he's really big. So we're going to make him smaller. We're gonna drag him up here like this. And he's pretty darn big. Now, the thing with the shadow box is also, like, you want it to attach to the frame somehow. So we're gonna make him a little smaller, and kind of like I did in the dragon box, you want to have like part of it, because when it cuts, it's gonna attach him like that. So that's why I did that one specific dragon, because of the way he was kind of curved and flying. It allowed me to attach him like on the corner up here and up here. So we'll do something similar. So here he is, he's covering the cloud. We want to attach him to this frame. Now sometimes if you don't have like a lot of support here, you may need to, I get those little like double-sided foam squares to kind of like, then like I'll put it underneath it to keep it 3D so it's not flopping around when I put the box together. Which I can do a little tutorial of that too if you guys are interested, but I'm just going to focus on the design software for right now. So right now we'll just stick him in there. He's just going to be there on that layer. And we're going to attach him to this. So you see how it says subtract and square and whatever. You just have to highlight this, and then you're going to highlight this. And now instead of subtracting, we are going to attach them. So we're going to do unite. That way we can move him around if we want to, but we're going to unite him. So now that he's united, he is attached to this. I don't really like how that is there, because when you cut it in the Cricut, you're going to have like a little sliver there. and that's going to be annoying. So we want to kind of like move him up. It'll cut off part of his wing, but at least then the cut will be cleaner. So that's what we got for that. So but we'll like change that to black, like that. And you just continue to do that. You can do that. Sometimes I'll just go to, like, say like this subtracted square. Like I want another frame, so I'm just gonna duplicate that. I've just learned to be more efficient with my laziness, really. So we'll make this pink. So here it's pink, and then we've got this beautiful couple, and they just, you know, they just want to dance in the clouds. See, but they're kind of like far back, so they just want to dance in the clouds underneath the little dragon that I have. Let me just double. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so there they are. So sometimes it's wonky and you have to find where they are. We can actually kind of like, well, we can kind of tilt them or leave them like that. We're going to go ahead and just attach them. We'll make them a little smaller. Look at that. And then we're going to highlight that and then highlight this box. Make sure you're highlighting the right thing. I often sometimes attach shit to stuff that I don't want to attach it to. But we're going to unite this. And so now we have this couple. It changed to black, but we'll change it back to pink because, you know. And then you can just continue to do that throughout, like however many layers you want to do. Let me just go. I'm gonna go out of here. I'll save this for whatever. How about test box? That works. Test box. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. New collection. I don't really care. Oh my god, it didn't save it, did it? I don't know. I don't know if it saved it. But anyway, we're gonna go to my stuff, and oh, I don't care. Cricket, shut up. So let's go to the dragon box. Alright, and I'll kind of show you the layers. I'm going to customize. I do have to clean some stuff up. No, I wanted to save it. I said I wanted to save it. Oh my god. Alright. Test box. Alright, so just why do I want to put in new collection? Oh, now I have multiple new collections. How about just my stuff? It's never asked me that before. It's so stupid. Alright, so when this loads, Cricut can be a little slow sometimes. I really want to learn how to design these just strictly on my iPad. That would be so nice. I do have the software for it. I'm just still learning because it used to be my daughter's iPad and I stole it. She doesn't use it anymore. Alright, so this frame, this is in my box, in my shadow box. I made this strictly your 8x8 because I have it slapped up against the glass. And then these are slightly smaller because I have the lights running around that part. But this is just an idea of how I have the things. So here's some trees. I want to clean that up before I try to do any kind of digital design because they're I don't really like how it cut the best. But so this one is basically, so I had my little hiker that I brought in, and then I had another little hiker, and then this little crappy castle thing that I drew that was horrible, so then I had to add my own windows. This is my slice result from my little parapet that I made. I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but here's my little cliff. So I just attached all that stuff to that one little frame, and that's how I got that. Then I've got some more trees to give it like that dimension underneath the walkway. And then here was my dragon, kind of similar to what we had. And then I did mountains, and I kind of like made them like there's a way to go into the contours to make the mountains 3D, but you can kind of just cut them out the way they are. But that's my mountain slides. And then here's kind of like I was showing you the clouds, so they're kind of like it's just a cutout. And now this little guy, I originally, when I first started designing it, I had him attached to a slide, but I didn't really like it there, so I just cut him out by himself, and then I just kind of took one of those little foam things and like attached him in the middle of the shadow box so that it looked more like it was, because it's smaller, so it looks stupid on the side, whereas this one looked okay. So I just kind of design it in here, and I kind of also, I change it to the colors that I want to after I've designed it. Like I said, most of the time it looks like some kind of like rainbow slide on here when I'm designing it, just so that I can keep everything straight. But once I'm ready to cut, I kind of like color everything how I want it, so that I know when I go to cut it, like if I go to make it, it's gonna show me, oh my God, why are you asking me this? That's what I have. Okay. All right. I am really quite the worst at this, so I hope that, you know, maybe you learn like the tiniest thing from this. So we're gonna use a mat, and so this is when I go to cut. So then here's my back piece. I always kind of keep a back piece in whatever color I want. It's usually white, just so that I can put it on the back of the Shadowbox frame. And then I've got all of my white ones, so they're gonna all cut on white. And then there's my black one, and then here's my gold frame. As you'll see, it'll also cut out a little dragon, but my gold color is 8 by 10. So I will drag him down here when I go to cut it, and then he'll cut down here. And then I just piece it together with the lights, and I put it in the box. I have, we're gonna cancel that. I can show you a couple of the other ones that I've made that I've printed out. I got all kinds of crap in here. I'm like showing you all my stuff. This one I purchased for a wedding, and yeah, it's nice. Oh, and I made this one for my daughter because she really loves Genshin Impact. So this is Ganyu, her favorite character. So I kind of like designed that with some of the stuff that was in Cricket. There was my Twilight one, which is on the design space, but yeah, I guess you have to pay for it if you don't pay for their subscription, because I used a bunch of their images. Yeah, that's about, I mean, that's about it. I have a few, I don't know where, oh, there's my Valaris one. This one was really kind of hard to make, but, I have to, I didn't really like how the house is cut on that one, but I have it lit up in my, would you just, it takes forever to open. But anyway, so this one's a little bit more involved. This one had a lot of layers to it, but same concept. I just I drew some stuff and pulled it in. Oh my gosh, why is it taking so long? That's a good thing they're gonna do an update tonight, because that's my only problem with the design space, because it can be kind of slow, especially when you're trying to open something big. So this one the same, I used the frame, and then I used the letters for the cutout. You have to be careful when you cut out on the letters, because sometimes you have to use a specific font for it to work. I kind of put these little open spaces on the bottom, which I don't particularly like. I like to string my lights on the side now. I was doing that so that they would shine up, because I saw that done in a different shadow box that I had purchased. So I was like, oh, let me try that with mine. And I just didn't really like how it looked. But going forward, I'm gonna try to like tweak this one. I'm gonna fix the houses. The houses were like really involved, and they didn't cut very well, like I said. But I mean, it looks really beautiful on the box cut out, but it's not anything that, I just resized it. But yeah, so this one just had like a million layers, but it turned out really pretty, and I can drop a picture if you guys want to see it. It was in one of my videos that I posted on this site a couple weeks ago, because it's on my shelf. But yeah, so I hope that helped any of you, and feel free to ask me anything that you want. I will help you in any way that you can. I love crafting and making things, so if I can help anybody learn anything, I will gladly not gatekeep on any kind of skills that I have learned over the past 6 months. I'm still learning, honestly, because I'm still learning different things that I can do in here, and I'm going to continue to make really cool stuff, I hope. And thank you. Bye.